What's good? We back, Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. We know we button so when we go live or upload a video, you will know exactly when. And the Detroit Pistons made two acquisitions in the draft. And no, they didn't trade up in the first round, but they acquired the number 38 pick, and which the Philadelphia Sixers selected Khyri Thomas, and they traded for him. I'm not sure about the details of what they gave up. Probably not that much. Probably a lower level player with some cash considerations in a future second. And then they end up getting Miami guard Bruce Brown. With the 42nd pick, that's the original pick that they had in the second round. And they didn't trade up in the first round, do anything flamboyant. But Khyri Thomas is out of Creighton, that's in Nebraska. And I ain't gonna front, I didn't know a lot about these guys. So I read some reports on them, and Thomas and Brown is totally different point guards. Excuse me, a little bit tired. They bring two entirely different dynamics to the game, and both are similar in size. Thomas is 6'3", 190. Brown is 6'5", 190. But their games are different, but it's totally different. And I'll get into that into a minute. I see people talking about the Pistons with their original 12 pick that the Clippers took, Bridges, out of Michigan State. People saying, well, Blake Griffin is better than Bridges, but in my opinion, it was a transcendent player still on the board. And that was Michael Porter Jr. and the Pistons could have had him. They could have had him. I think if he's healthy, and it's worth the risk, if he's healthy, he's going to be potentially one of the best players in the league one day. His game is dynamic, tremendous, and when we trade our pick, and you got a chance to get a superstar player with that type of talent that Michael Porter Jr. got, it kind of made me sick to my stomach. But at the end of the day, Denver ended up with him, and we'll see where his career goes from there. But other than that, I didn't see a pick on the board that was, that I was like, oh, man, I can't believe the Pistons traded the pick. No. Nobody else moved me that way like Michael Porter Jr. did. I rated Michael Porter Jr. on my other channel as the best player in the draft, minus the injury. He probably would have won number one. The Pistons, but hey, if he'd have came here, he probably would have got injured and been out the league. So we'll see what he do in Denver. But that was the guy that I identified. I can't believe Cleveland passed up on Michael Porter Jr. Man, like they got anything to lose. That kid is a phenomenal scoring talent, and 6'10" and play just like Durant. And I don't know how, many teams passed that up, and I know they were scared about the back injury and the health. I just had to take a chance on the guy that slid past 5, and that potentially could have been the best player in the league in the draft if he wasn't injured. So that's that, so there wasn't nobody I was missing at number 12 but Porter. And Porter, I'm telling you, Porter's a beast. But Khyri Thomas, the guy they traded from Philly, the 38 overall pick, he's a defender. He was a 2-time Big East, I think, defensive player of the year. He a 3-and-D guy. He could defend. He got good hands. He can steal the ball, and he can shoot the three. That's what he do. He ain't no dude that can create shot for nobody else. He's one of them combo guard sizes that can get after it, and defend, and he can shoot the three. Shot the three at 41%. He was one of the better 3-point shooters in his draft. So, that was a steal. But as far as his weakness, sound like, he make a lot of dumb decisions with the ball as far as passing it, and coaching can coach that up. So, David Aldridge really liked what the Pistons did. He's been an insider in the NBA since I was a kid. David Aldridge, yeah, he's been doing his thing since I was a kid. So, that's kind of the Joe Dumars type of guy they got in Khyri Thomas. That's kind of the prototype that they got in him, a guy that can D up, and a guy that can, the 2-time defensive player of the year, and he can fill up the three. He a 3-and-D guy. And then Bruce Brown, he's an athlete, had a foot injury, had some surgery, and then hopped in the draft with no agent, and then ended up wanting to stay, and it worked out because he got drafted in the second round. And he's an aggressive downhill guy, very aggressive. He said he modeled his game after Westbrook, and they said you definitely could see some Westbrook in his game. He's an aggressive attacker of the basket, elite athlete, elite jump hops and all that. but he can't shoot free throws. He shoot like 62% from the free throw line. He's not a 3-point shooter, but he might want to be one of those combo guards that the Pistons might try to mold into a point guard, down the future. But he's an aggressive athlete. He's a go-getter. He only played 2 years at Miami, so I don't know if he went to a Division II school because he's 22. I think he's 20. No, he's not 22. That's Khyri Thomas. So he played 2 years of college, so there's potential there. Like he's an aggressive guard, a go-getter. With that athletic ability, he probably got the potential to be a great defender. And he's a high rebounder. He rebounded seven rebounds a game last season, 11 points. He's amazing in the pick and roll from what I read. Can make the good passes. So they got two combination type guards. And it seemed like Bruce Brown out of Miami, the 42nd pick, the second one they got, seems more of the point guard type, and Thomas seems more they both combo guards, but Thomas seems more the shooting guard, shooting guard type, but he got good defense, you know what I'm saying? So could this be a future backcourt for the Pistons? You never know. This is a new leaf they turned over with Dwayne Casey. And, if you told me it was another coach previous to him, Stan Van Gundy, Mo Cheeks, Keister, or, all the rest of the coaches, I say they probably never see the day of light, on the court. They won't see the court. They never gave rookies a chance to develop. Even going back to Tayshaun Prince, when they put him out the deep freezer versus the Orlando Magic back in the day, he stayed serious. And they took them all year to find out and be desperate to put him in and find out that he can play. A 4-year starter at Kentucky. The Pistons just never cared or never worried about developing talent. They always let the talent sit at the end of the bench. And with Dwayne Casey, hopefully that's the end. His specialty is developing young talent and giving them the confidence and letting them make their mistakes and coaching them and nurturing them around the way to come up and be great professional players, or at least good professional players. And if these two can play and he can groom them, they'll see time on the floor. They compete for time with Langston Galloway and other guards. And if they can play and he sees the potential in them, they'll play. If they're good enough to play, you will see them on the floor. Two athletic guards with great potential to defend. One can shoot the three. The other one is a paint attacker. So we'll see how it pan out. From what I'm hearing, this is probably the best case scenario they could have had in the draft. I know a lot of people say, well, the Pistons don't make big first round trades. I tried to tell you guys earlier that it wasn't gonna happen. They didn't have the assets to do it, or they wasn't willing to give up with the assets to move up. And honestly, I'm a little bit mad that they trade out that pick, because Michael Porter Jr. has the ability to be the best player in the league, but that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to bring on Blake Griffin. He's a good player, tremendous athlete. But people that's trying to knock Porter for the injury, well, Blake Griffin is often injured. And in my opinion, I think Porter's upside coming out of college is way higher than Blake Griffin's upside is. But we're gonna ride with Blake Griffin, and the deal is done. I think it was a dumb deal that Stan Van Gundy made, looking in hindsight, but it's done. We're gonna move forward, have our draft pick next year. And I think Blake could do good here. He's going to fit good here. It's just they got to get some guard play for him to thrive, him and Drummond to thrive. And they tried to, attack that weakness tonight, but it's Motor City Sports Talk. Don't forget, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And keep sharing the videos, man. I appreciate you guys for subscribing and listening. But Khyri Thomas and Bruce Brown, Creighton in Miami, probably thought their names would never cross paths in a lifetime, but they did. Shout out to the new Detroit Pistons. We out.